Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really happy that you are here with me today. If you are listening now, it means you care about your learning. It means you want to use your time better and you want to feel more peaceful and focused when you study. In this episode, we will talk about a very important topic: how to concentrate on learning. How to focus on learning. We will go step by step, slowly and clearly. I will speak in simple English, but I will also share some deeper ideas. Sometimes I will use a longer or new word, but when I do, I will explain the word right away. So, take a deep breath and let's begin. Okay, let's start with a question. Why is it so hard to concentrate today? Think about your usual day. You wake up in the morning. Maybe the first thing you touch is your phone. You see messages, you see notifications, you see news. You see short videos, funny pictures, maybe something sad, maybe something shocking. Your mind is already busy before you even stand up from the bed. During the day, many things pull your attention. A notification appears on your screen. A notification means a little message on your phone that tells you something new happened. A friend writes to you. An app sends you a message. You see an email from work or from school. Even when you sit down and say, "Okay, now I will study English," your phone is still near you like a small child saying, "Hey, look at me, look at me, look at me." You think, "I will just check one message." It is only 10 seconds, but 10 seconds become 2 minutes, 2 minutes become 10 minutes, 10 minutes become 30 minutes, and suddenly the time for learning is gone. This does not happen because you are a bad student. It does not happen because you are lazy. It happens because your brain likes easy pleasure and quick rewards. When you scroll on social media, your brain feels a small reward again and again. A reward is something that feels good and tells your brain, "Do this again." So a new image is a reward. A new video is a reward. A new message is also a reward. But learning a language is different. Learning is slower. Learning is sometimes quiet. Learning often feels difficult at the beginning, and the reward is later okay. Not right now. So your brain has a simple choice: scroll and feel good now, or study and feel good later. Of course, your brain often chooses now. This is normal. This is human. You are not alone in this. In this podcast, we will not blame you. We will not say, "You must be stronger." No, no. Instead, we will learn how the brain works and how we can work with it, not against it. Okay? Many people think concentration means I must sit very straight for 3 hours. I must suffer. I must force myself and feel pain. This is not a healthy idea. Concentration simply means your mind is with what you are doing now. Your attention is not jumping every second to something else. You are listening, you are reading, you are repeating, you are present. Think about when you watch a very interesting movie. You forget your phone. You forget the time. You forget that you are hungry. You are not forcing yourself to watch. You are just inside the movie. That is concentration too. So concentration is not always hard or painful. Sometimes concentration feels light, smooth, and even enjoyable, especially when you are doing something you care about. Now we will use two new words, okay? Deliberate concentration and organic concentration. Don't worry, I will define them in simple language. Deliberate means on purpose, with a clear decision. So, deliberate concentration means you choose to focus, you plan it, you decide when and how, even if you do not feel like it. Organic means natural, growing by itself in a simple, natural way. So, organic concentration means your focus comes naturally without forcing just because you are interested, calm, and in a good environment. Both types are important. Both types can help your English. And when you understand the difference, you can use the right one at the right moment. Okay, so let's first talk about deliberate concentration. Remember, deliberate means on purpose. Deliberate concentration is when you say, for the next 10 minutes, I will only listen to English. From 7 to 8, I will read this story and nothing else. Right now, I will shadow this audio and I will not check my phone. Okay? So you plan it, you decide it, and you make a small promise to yourself. Deliberate concentration is like going to the gym for your mind. When you go to the gym, you do not always feel excited. Sometimes you feel a little tired, but you go anyway, okay? Because you know it is good for your body. It is the same with deliberate concentration. You may not always feel motivated, but you sit down and say, now I choose to focus just for a short time. I can do this. Deliberate concentration becomes easier when your task is clear and small. If you say, I will study English this evening, this is too big and too vague. Vague means not clear, not specific. Your brain does not know what to do exactly, so it becomes confused and starts to escape. Instead, you can say, I will listen to one English Unleashed episode. I will write 5 simple sentences about my day. I will learn and repeat 10 useful phrases. I will shadow Tom for 5 minutes. Now, the task is exact. It is specific. Your brain knows exactly what to do. It is like having good instructions. Okay, deliberate concentration also means no multitasking. Multitasking is when you try to do many things at the same time, for example, listening to English, checking messages, answering emails, and looking at social media all at the same time. Your brain cannot give full attention to many things at once. It can jump quickly, but this jumping is tiring, and your learning becomes weak and slow. So, a simple rule for deliberate concentration is one block of time, one activity, one goal. For example, for 10 minutes, I only listen. For 15 minutes, I only read. For 5 minutes, I only shadow and repeat. Even if the time is short, if the focus is pure, the learning is powerful. Now, for deliberate concentration, you can have a short ritual. What is a ritual? A ritual is a small action that you do every time before something important. So, ritual here means a personal habit that prepares your mind. For example, put your phone in another room, sit in the same chair, take 3 deep breaths, say quietly, this is my English time. When you repeat this every day, your brain starts to understand. When I do this little ritual, it is time to focus. You do not need a big ceremony, just a small, repeatable action. Okay, now let's talk about the second type of concentration, organic concentration. And remember, organic means natural, growing by itself when conditions are right. Think about a plant. You do not pull the plant to make it grow. You do not shout at it. You do not say, grow faster, grow faster. No, you don't do that. You simply give it water, light, and good soil, and it grows naturally. Organic concentration is like that. You are doing something that feels interesting, meaningful, not too easy, and not too difficult. And then you notice that time passes very fast. You are inside the activity Maybe you are listening to a story that touches your heart. Maybe you are watching an English video about a hobby you love. Maybe you are writing a message to a real person in English. You are not forcing yourself to focus, you just forget everything else because you care about what you're doing. That is organic concentration. Now, organic concentration needs good conditions, like a plant, okay? For example, the topic is interesting or emotional for you. The level is not too difficult. You are not very tired. You are in a calm environment. If a story is extremely difficult, your brain cannot relax. It is busy trying to understand every word. You feel stress. This kills organic concentration. If a story is too easy and boring, your brain also escapes. You feel, why should I listen to this? That also kills organic concentration. So, for organic concentration, the level should be just a little above your current level. You understand most of it, but there is still something new to learn. This is like walking up a small hill, not climbing a giant mountain, and not staying only on flat ground. Here is another important point. Organic concentration is very strong when emotions are involved. When you read or listen to a story, you feel curious. You want to know what happens next. You care about the character. You are surprised, or you laugh, or you feel sad. Because you care, your brain wants to follow. This is organic concentration. This is why stories are so powerful for language learning. They combine meaningful content, emotion, and repeated language. So your brain enjoys the story and learns language at the same time. All right, now we have two ideas. Deliberate concentration on purpose, planned, like training. Organic concentration, natural, growing by itself when conditions are right. The big secret is this. The best learning happens when you use both, not just one. Deliberate concentration is like building a safe room for learning. Organic concentration is like filling that room with light, music, and life. Deliberate concentration gives you a time, a place. It removes distractions and chooses a clear task for you. Organic concentration gives you interest, joy, emotional connection, and it makes the time feel short and comfortable. So, your ideal learning session looks like this. You deliberately decide to study for 15 minutes. You plan it. You prepare the room, remove your phone, sit down, take a deep breath, and start. Then you use content that can grow organic concentration, a story you like, a topic you care about, a movie you love, or a dialogue that feels alive. So you start with deliberate focus, and slowly your mind enters organic focus. At first, it feels like, I choose to study now. After a while, it feels like, I want to continue. This is interesting. Okay, now let's make it very practical for your English. Let's start with listening to a story. Imagine you have a 10-minute story in English. In the deliberate concentration part, you choose a time, for example, 9 p.m. You sit in your usual study place. You put your phone away and you say, for 10 minutes, I will only listen to this story. You start the audio. At the beginning, maybe your mind wants to escape. That is completely normal. You gently bring it back. Now we move on to the organic concentration part. After 2 or 3 minutes, the story becomes interesting. You want to know what happens. You are curious about the character. You feel a little emotion. Slowly, your concentration becomes natural. You're not checking the clock. You are just inside the story. Now, even with all this, your mind will sometimes run away. You will notice that you start thinking about work, you start thinking about problems, or you start thinking about what you will eat later. You will start thinking about something that happened yesterday. That is, my friend, completely normal. The important part is what you do when you notice it. Here is a gentle method. Step 1, notice it, okay? Pay attention to it. So you say, oh, my mind is not here. It went away. Step 2, do not judge yourself. Do not say, I'm stupid. I cannot focus. Instead, say, okay, this is normal. Step 3, come back. Okay, come back. Bring your attention back to the audio, to the text, or to your voice. Every time you come back, you are training your concentration. You are making the focus muscle a little stronger. So when your mind runs away and you bring it back, that is not failure. That is success, my friend. That is the exercise. All right, now I want to speak to you with slightly longer sentences, still in simple English, but with a little more depth. When you practice concentration, you're not only training your brain to stay with a task, you are also very quietly changing the story you tell yourself about who you are as a learner. Many people carry this story inside their head. I cannot focus. I always get distracted. I start, but I never finish. This story feels true because in the past they did lose focus many times. But when you begin to create even very small moments of deliberate concentration, for example, a simple 5-minute session where you just listen carefully to an English episode, you are giving your mind new evidence that a different story is possible. You can slowly start to say, yeah, sometimes I get distracted, but I can also focus even for a short time when I decide to. This small change in your inner story is extremely powerful because language learning is not only about grammar or vocabulary, it is also about identity. Identity means the way you see yourself. If you begin to see yourself as a person who can concentrate even in short blocks, and as a person who enjoys organic concentration when listening to interesting content, then English becomes part of your life and part of your character, not only a subject you should study. Okay? So, deliberate concentration gives you structure and confidence. Organic concentration gives you joy and meaning. Together, they help you build a future where English is not a constant fight, but a natural part of your daily life, like drinking water or brushing your teeth. You do not need to be a perfect student. You do not need to feel strong every day. You only need to return again and again to these two simple questions. Can I give myself a small block of deliberate focus right now? Can I choose something interesting that invites organic focus to grow? If the answer is yes, even 3 times a week, you will notice that after some months, your English feels more automatic. Your fear becomes smaller, and your ability to stay with one activity becomes stronger. All right, and that brings us to the end of today's episode. My friends, you're not just learning English, you are learning how to be with yourself. How to stay present with one small thing at a time. How to give your mind both the structure it needs and the freedom it loves. You may forget some words from this episode. It is completely okay. What I hope you will remember is the feeling that you are capable of focusing, that you do not have to choose between strict discipline and lazy distraction. There is a middle path, a path where you use deliberate concentration to open the door and organic concentration to walk through the door with joy. Thank you so much for staying with me for such a long time today. The fact that you are still listening now is already proof that you can concentrate much more than you think. You did something good for your mind today.